The Marcus Rashford situation. The striker's future at Old Trafford is in a lot of doubt, with him having been left out of the matchday squad for 4 games. He included in the squad to face Newcastle on Monday night, but didn't feature in the game. Yes, boys, welcome back to the FK Sports channel. Today, we're talking all things Marcus Rashford, man. What is his future at Old Trafford? Is he going to be here next season? At the minute, you gotta say no. Looking very, very unlikely. And I think, as much as I love Marcus Rashford, the player, and what he can be, inconsistency has riddled his Manchester United career, man. Yes, he had that season a couple of years back in the 2022-2023 season, where I think he scored 30 goals in all competitions, had a brilliant season. But ever since then, boys, and even before that, even before he had his great 30-goal season, it's been riddled with inconsistency his whole Manchester United career, man. His whole time at the club, boys, it's all just been about consistency, man, and it just hasn't been the case with Rashford, unfortunately. There's no doubt there's a player in there. There's no doubt he's had talent, but under Van Gaal, when he first broke on the scene, what a prospect he looked, man. And listen, there's been a load of great moments from Rashford at his time at the club, but now he's 27, and you look at him and you go, he's so inconsistent. And don't get me wrong, I'm gonna have a video on the channel later this week as well, boys, regarding the situation at Manchester United right now, because it's getting real bad at Manchester United, and the whole, circus of Manchester United Football Club is not helping the Rashford situation either. I just think it's sad, for a local lad like Rashford. He does get what the club means. He's grew up in the years, where Giggs and Scholes were playing. He was in his 5, 6, 7 year old when they were playing, and dominating English football, man. And for him to grow up playing this team, being from the city as well, he knows what what this club means, but you do question that at times at the same sense, because you think on the pitch in recent years, okay, yeah, last couple of seasons he's not been nowhere near the player he can be, or the player he was in the 2022-2023 season. Sometimes his body language, it's not there, man, and the least us fans deserve is maximum effort from every one of our players. Now, the thing about this is, you can angle that at most United players right now in our team. There's a very little percentage of our squad right now that you can honestly say, right, they give it their all every time they step onto that pitch for the club, and that's just a disgrace. But obviously, this is a Marcus Rashford video. He's one of our most high-profile players, and that's obviously who we're talking about today. So, and of course, boys, there's been a lot of rumour recently about his exit from Old Trafford in January, maybe the summer. The way it's looking, has he played his last game for Manchester United? The thing for me is, as I said at the start of the video, man, as much as I like Rashford, and some of the stuff he's done off the pitch has been brilliant, some of the stuff he's done off the pitch has not been so great. That's the thing with him as well, boys. Some of the off-field stuff he's done, most recently, obviously, that interview done without the club's knowledge, it just doesn't help his case, man. And yeah, I think a lot of fans are fed up with him now, and he's not the only one. As I say, I gotta stress that, because our whole squad, barring a couple of players, is completely shit right now, and has been for a while. I think for his own good, it is time for a move. It is time for a new start for him, because under Amorim, he's not getting a look into the squad, and rightly so. I am so glad Amorim is making, because Rashford, as I said earlier, he's one of our most high-profile players, and for Amorim to kind of pretty much take no shit, pretty much, for more than a better term, he's doing things his way, man, and that's why I will be making a video on Amorim later this week as well, or early next week. Obviously the form from Amorim, he's got 7 points in 8 games, but so points-wise, the return, there's been no manager bounce, put it that way, from what Amorim's doing so far in terms of sticking by his laurels, doing things his way. That's what fans are buying into, man, and you can see it over Twitter, you can see it over football media. People are backing Amorim, which is great to see. Rashford's kind of been made not the scapegoat, but the example, in terms of, a big profile player power has been a big problem at the club in the last many years. We've seen a decline in the club, and player power at the club has been a big problem as well, man, amongst many other issues. But for a high profile player to be kind of sidelined out, if you like, and pretty much not in the matchday squad for 4 games, and then obviously, yes, he was in the squad against Newcastle there on Monday, but didn't even get on the pitch, and no one expected him to, so yeah, for me, I'm never gonna hate Rashford. I just think it's a sad situation on what's kind of came, how great would it have been another local lad coming through the youth system and turns into a club legend. That was the pathway that looked possible many years ago. It's not been, it hasn't came to fruition, unfortunately, and the club's just a complete circus right now. So for players like him, where he's 27 now, I think it's good for both parties for him just to move on. Problem is, boys, who's going to take him now? The Saudi Pro League, there's a few teams in that league that apparently have been linked to him. Now, firstly, would he want to go there? Secondly, he might have to go there if he wants to move out of Old Trafford, because who else is going to take him on those wages? I mean, yet again, the wage structure is another massive issue, as we know. The wages he is on, I mean, what club's going to pay that for a player that, you know, hasn't been playing much recently for a start, but even when he has been playing, has been massively underperforming. So, however, there still might be an issue surrounding the Saudi Pro League in terms of their rules, because apparently every Saudi League team, boys, can only basically obtain 8 foreign players in their 21-man squad. So, from what I've read and stuff as well, boys, I think the situation with the Saudi League clubs, some of them that are interested in Rashford, or they've shown any interest in him, is that pretty much they've got to like move out some of their players already, some of their foreign assets, before they can bring a player like Rashford in. So that might be a sticking block as well for something that maybe, if that was possible and he wanted to move, and that could happen in January, but maybe would not happen to the summer then, if Saudi's the only potential destination where he can go. I mean, would a club in Europe take him? I mean, that's, I'm sure, where he wants to go, unless he's really in it for the money at 27, which I'd like to think with Rashford's morals he wouldn't be. I'm sitting here, boys, and as I say, I'll delve more into this in the next video, obviously, when we're delving into more, you know, Manchester United as a club right now, and just how things are going from bad to worse, really, and there just seems no end to it. But that's for another video. Yeah, I want your boys' thoughts, man, on the Rashford situation, man. You know, obviously, what a bright young star he looked to be, man, and his career's just kind of stagnated the last couple of years, especially. But it's always, even for by that 2022-2023 season, despite that, like, even for by the last couple of years, which have been very poor, before that, as I said earlier, it was riddled with inconsistencies, man. He was never really, you know, he was never a world-class player for me. He never was. But yeah, I would love to see him get back to his best, but I just don't see that happening in a Manchester United shirt, unfortunately. So yeah, I want to know your boys' thoughts. Get them in the comments. Please do drop a like on the video if you've enjoyed it, and of course subscribe. Get involved. This is a new community, boys. We've been pushing this channel for last couple of months and stuff as well, man. So I've been trying to put a new focus on this channel the last few months as well, boys. Trying to up the level of content that I'm putting out, and also the quantity of content I'm putting out as well. Because on this channel, I'm not posting as much as I'd like to. So we're gonna try and fix that over the next few weeks and get the regular uploads up again for you boys, man. So yeah, please do subscribe if you're new. We're pushing towards our first 1,000 subscribers, and yeah, I'll see you boys in the next one, man. Peace out.